All right.
All right, so welcome everyone to the Collider's pre-launch AMA, part of their, I guess, mad dash to the finish. Daniel, the I don't even know you would be the founder. I don't even know your
Yeah.
official title.
We don't. I think you're only allowed to call yourself a founder or a CEO once you're running a. That's at least be over $1 billion business. If not, you're just fronting,
Okay,
man. Yeah. So I'm
all right,
just I'm just the humble servant here.
got it.
Yeah.
So
Just
Daniel, the front man for Colliders, is
yeah.
here with us, and yeah, we're here to talk about the project. So Daniel, can you give us a little update, a little overview about the project for those who don't know.
Yeah. So we're on Twitch for anybody who wants like some visuals to support what it will be showing.
Yeah, that link is
Who
in
should
the
I
background.
address? Do you think should I just kind of like start from scratch one, basically, addressing people who might not know what we're doing, or kind of just like what do you think?
Yeah, I think if you want to give like a TLDR of the overview,
Yeah.
then I think we could start there and move on to questions from the audience if they
All
have
right.
any.
We'll just do like a little mini elevator pitch here, like So yeah, Johnny, if you want, you can share my screen. Yeah, so basically we're a team that got started together as a team here in Argentina in the art service business for games, focusing on character creation for AAA titles. We started off as a very small team, 5 people, in a co-work, and yeah, we set out with a bold and audacious plan of becoming the best team in the world when it came to making characters for games. At the time, it seemed ridiculous because um, none of us had actually built a team before. None of us had actually, really headed work in AAA titles. So it was, and to be one of the best in the world just felt like a crazy idea. But we set out to do it, and 5 years later, I think we're in a pretty nice spot. We're close to probably 100 people now. But we're a much larger team than just artists. We have engineers, graphic programmers, developers, and that's what we've been doing for the last 5 years. And recently, we decided to make a shift from just offering services to actually building tools and a product for character development. Right? We saw that as games grew bigger, they were developers were going to need better tools to create characters. Right now, they take somewhere between like 3 months to make a character. It can cost up to north of $80,000, and the costs in games are going up like a 20% every year, which is outpacing the growth in the market. So we figured, hey, developers are going to need really powerful tools. So we set out to start building these tools to create hundreds and thousands of characters with a small team in a short amount of time. And we set out to do that 2 years ago. And about uh, in August, we decided to make a big shift and move from a B2B product to make a B2C product, because we realized with everything happening in the NFT space, we realized that there was a huge opportunity to shift this product and actually make it something for the end consumer. We believe that everyone's going to need an avatar one day, and everyone's going to want a virtual representation. People are going to spend a lot more time in immersive experiences. So we kind of made a shift in our company. We rebranded from NXA Studios to Collider Craftworks, and here we are. Our first drop is Cypher, which is kind of an homage to the cypherpunk movement, and it's kind of set in the cyberpunk universe. And it's a collection of 7,890 pieces, broken up into two. And the first drop is happening on the 20th of May. Um, this is just a little background on us, on kind of the games that we worked on. If you guys are on Twitch, you guys can see I'm going to be sharing some images. So our background is like we've worked on some games like Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Gotham Knights, Assassin's Creed, Street Fighter, and some more games we're going to be announcing soon that we worked on a couple years ago. And yeah, so it's us in a nutshell.
Cool. I think everyone's been looking forward to this. I know it's been a while, and everyone's pretty hyped. Do you know how far out after the first set um, your second set will drop, or the part, I guess the V2, or I'm not sure if that's after reveal or before.
All right, so let's see, jump on to the next one here. I have actually no, it's over here where I have a trustworthy timeline here. So this is Q2 for us. We're going to be minting on the 20th. Then we're going to be offering cipher holders access to an early alpha demo of the visual wallet and the Moshpit, which is the game that we're developing, which we believe is a great way to give people like tangible visual experience of what we're really developing, and hopefully really bolster the excitement and support for the project. And then we're having the reveal on the 30th of June. Then for Q3, we're going to be delivering the avatars. We're calculating around August, the end of August. These are a lot of a lot of avatars. So we're going to be spending a lot of time doing the QA to make sure everything works perfectly. There's a lot of technical details. We can get into that afterwards. Then we have a drop 2 penciled in for Q3. We don't have an exact date yet, but it should be happening in Q3. And then we have an alpha for the visual wallet and the Moshpit. So this is something people already can start using and playing and testing. And then we're going to have a reveal of our next collection, which is a horror-themed collection that we've been working on since December with a small team doing pre-production and design. We're going to be doing a small reveal for cipher holders during before the reveal of, so we're going to be doing it in June. We're going to be doing like an internal reveal for our team and people that are part of our community, and then we're going to be doing the grand reveal to the world in October. We're going to be announcing the next big collection that's coming. So that's kind of the big milestones. So we, as you asked when the second drop is, it's not a confirmed date yet, but we're targeting a Q3, which are going to be the female ciphers.
That was my next question. There was a rumor that it was like just the all-female set.
Yep.
So is that how it's broken out, the male
That's
set and then the
exactly how
female
it's
set?
broken up. Exactly. The reason we broke it up like this is basically we wanted to get something to the public as soon as possible. Like for everyone familiar in game development, and when you're actually creating these kind of assets, like we're used to working on a game for like 3 years. So so like a 6 months turnaround is spicy, and we don't produce anything like 3,000 characters. So I think the most we've done maybe for a game is like 300 characters or something like that. So yeah, this is a mad dash for us. So basically what we're doing is we split it up into two because we had a lot of the content done for the male avatars because we were doing all of the pre-production and the demos and stuff. We were doing all of that kind of stuff with male avatars. So we had most of that content, dialed in. So we were like, all right, let's just split it up into two to allow us to get something out to market as soon as possible. So yeah, the second drop is all females and hopefully very exciting stuff.
Yeah, the expectations and the, I guess, timelines here are a little bit different in this space than, I guess, the regular video game space.
Yeah, yeah, I think
So
that's where I think we're kind of like a frog from another pond. People are like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? 6 months in
uh,
production. And then we're like, oh my God, if we only take 6 months, it's gonna be a miracle. So yeah, it's I think if you think about us as an NFT project, it's gonna be hard to understand a lot of the things that we do and why we do them. And then if you kind of see us as a company who's, an art company and a technology company that is trying to really build like essential infrastructure and technology and tools and systems to be able to create content at scale that is interoperable with Unreal Engine, that it's all rigged and functioning with the Unreal meta-human skeleton. And then if you understand like all the complexity that goes into building an avatar, if you understand like the cost of making something like this, so to make a realistic character for a video game can cost somewhere like around like three months. As we said, it could something like $80,000. So this is like a huge leap in yeah, like I think I don't know, like in efficiency. Like we're bringing the cost way down in time and in capital that it would take to make an avatar. So I think people from the gaming space will really appreciate what we're doing. Like, oh my god, like you guys, I know some guys told, I can't believe you guys figured out a way to make generative characters, like 3D generative characters. They couldn't believe it. They're like, how did you guys do that? But yeah, but we also want to be adapting to the NFT community, because that's where we're doing where we're conducting business. So we're trying to keep up to people's expectations.
No, I think you guys are doing great. We have a couple people on stage. Sam, did you have a question?
Yeah, I've got a question. I was wondering what software engineering practices you have in place, and what is it like working with the Unreal Engine?
Excuse me. Yeah, I had Juanito here talking to me, and I couldn't hear anything. I'm sorry about that. He was
Yeah, no
advising
problem.
me. He says.
I was wondering what software engineering practices you have in place, like when developing the game, and what's it like working with the Unreal Engine?
All right, so our development team is actually a fairly new part of the studio. I think we just started the development team. Like, I think they've been around for a little bit over a year. We had a couple developers that obviously have more than 10 years of experience. Actually, I think our lead programmer's got I think he's been working in games for like 20 years, but we didn't have like a development team in place until like a year ago. And so yeah, so the programming language is C++. Then obviously Unreal has node based systems that are easy to use, but then they're at scale it's a little bit complex. So we basically did a lot of stuff with its kind of node based for a lot of the kind of like pre-production and pre-visualization. Then we ripped all of that out and redid it all in C++. Then we have programmers that are pipeline programmers and engineers that basically like help automate all of the processes, or as many processes as possible. So that's kind of how we have the programming team split up. We have the game developers, and then we have the guys working on tools. Um, Also, what's really great now, for example, to maybe give a little bit of context to your question, for example, something that's made us extremely like bullish on the Unreal Engine and the Epic team is that they're constantly delivering like tools and resources. Just recently, they made available source code that they've been using for Fortnite. They just immensely valuable, and we're able to use a lot of this code for the networking side, for the AI side. Even though we wrote a bunch on top of the AI, we were able to use some of that code. So we were able to port the game we were developing onto the Unreal Engine 5, which allows us to use Lumen, which is the new lighting system. So working with Unreal is actually just amazing. Like, there's few software companies that are investing as much as they do in their ecosystem, in their community, and in just resources and tools. Like, they've invested immense amount of capital. And basically Fortnite did really good, and they decided to reinvest in the ecosystem. And I think they have an amazing shot at becoming one of the most important kind of companies when it comes to the conversation around the metaverse, or definitely have a much better shot than Facebook, I'll tell you that. I don't know if that answered your
Well,
question. I'm sorry, I kind of got a
Yeah,
little
no, for sure.
got a little
Yeah,
into the
yeah, for
weeds,
sure.
but it's been great working with the Unreal Engine. It's been great. Like, we're bringing on a little while ago, we were actually just able to bring on like one of the best developers in our region. We've been trying to get our hands on him for years now. I've been hitting him up year after year, and he finally came on board. So we have a couple like really really good. One's a graphics programmer. The other one's just a really well-rounded programmer, but is also specializing in AI. So we're building a super cool team. We have the programmers that have been with us already for a year now. So um, it's good. It's great. It's fun times for us. I don't know if it's for them, but
That's amazing. Yeah.
programmers are always suffering.
they like to blow things out of proportion, right? All right, Sam, thanks a lot. We're going to
Thank you.
shuffle between, I guess, the people on stage, and I got a couple questions in the chat. The chat's asking, When will the game be playable for the public, and is there going to be a beta for holders?
All right, so you guys are going to get your hands on it. For anybody holding a cipher, they'll be able to get their hands on it before the reveal. So after mint date, we're kind of like probably talking about 3 weeks after mint date, which I know might seem like a lot of time in the NFT space, but you'll actually be able to play a game before the reveal and have access to the visual wallet. And this is like a pre-alpha demo. And then hopefully around Q3 already have an alpha out. So yeah, you're talking about hopefully having the game functioning and everybody using it before the end of the year. Things are going good. They're on track. So I think just people being able to jump on now literally in 3 weeks and be able to play and see how the game's feeling, I think it's going to be bullish. I think people are going to be like, all right, baby, let's go. So it should be good.
All right, cool. VSK, I think you were next.
Hello, can you hear me?
You're breaking up a little bit, but yeah, we can hear you a little bit.
Yeah. Can you please speak a little bit about the gaming? Is it like a P2P or is it like RTS or RPG kind of gaming? And also, can you speak a little bit about, are you planning to release a gaming token in the future? And are you planning to something like a land or something like on the other side? So just want to quickly want to know some info.
I think our friend's getting rugged a little. Can you guys hear him? Jeff, can you hear him?
Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I heard a little bit. I heard he's asking what type of game is it?
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then I missed the rest of it.
I'm asking if there is a metaverse land and if there is any gaming token.
Gaming token land.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have like in-game tokens,
I guess
or like a
he's
play to
asking
earn, or
if you're going to have, yeah, like a play to earn or a utility token, and if you're going to have land associated with this project.
all right, for sure. Yeah. So we don't want to brand this as a play to earn game. And that's like not the objective of the game. The objective of the game is for people to have a way of interacting with their avatars, playing with other players, but obviously, and having fun, right? And also kind of as a roadmap for other developers who want to start developing experiences and games on our kind of our network or our platform, whatever you want to call it. But yes, obviously we also do want to reward players and having that interaction, right, where you feel rewarded after playing the game. So we're still figuring out what those rewards are going to be, if they're going to be in form of a token or if they're going to be reward in whatever is scoreboards, and the people at the top of the scoreboard that month or whatever get an airdrop of some super rare equipment. There's a lot of options, but we definitely don't want to brand ourselves or fall in the category of a play to earn game. Having said that, we obviously want people to earn cool stuff, and I think that's like a huge part of what we're doing, right? Where you can see the cool things that you've earned and you've been able to collect. So we definitely want there to be that kind of interaction. That's why you guys can see the little helmet pop out, the JRNY Club helmet, because that's definitely the direction we're going in, right? Where you can play and earn cool things. We're still figuring out exactly what those things will be.
Got it. Thank you so much. Thanks for the info.
All right. Going back to the chat. They're saying, since the team knows how to celebrate and throw parties, what would the team be doing to celebrate post-mint?
Post mint or post reveal, or for the reveal? Okay, so pre mint, we're gonna be doing a little warm up. So it's not gonna be a massive party. We're just gonna we're working. All right. There's gonna be a lot of customer support happening, but we also do want to celebrate with our team. We've been working on this stuff for years. It's finally here. It's a big moment for all of us. So we're gonna be doing something nice. We're gonna have music, snacks and the like. Warming up for the mint. Then for the reveal, we do have a big party planned. So if everything works out, hopefully we'll be able to do something open to the public, and we'll see. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but but we have all the intention. If all the conditions are right, we definitely enjoy partying and celebrating with people who supported us. So we definitely have something really fun planned for the reveal.
Awesome.
And we just got
Shepard?
a new studio that's
Sorry.
like fully soundproof. You can probably fit, I don't know, maybe like 100 people in each one of those soundproof stages, so we could throw a hell of a party. And it's got a
Is that
massive terrace. So yeah. Sorry?
is that where you're streaming from now?
No, this is the studio where we're at, where we've been at for the last 3 years, and right around the corner. If you go to our Twitter, maybe Tommy can, I don't know if you find it there, but we posted a video of a new studio that we leased, which is right around the corner, that has space for around like 200 people. It's got two massive production stages. It was a studio literally brand new, built for film and advertisement. And we just leased it, so we threw a little party there to celebrate on the terrace. It's got a massive terrace, and then we got like 20 complaints from neighbors. So if we do a party there, we'll definitely do it indoors in the in the soundproof stages. But yeah, we got we just leased a really nice building right around the corner. So we're ready for massive growth and expansion.
Awesome. Shepard?
Hey,
Sorry, where could maybe you can post it on the chat? Do we have a chat? Yeah. So Tommy's gonna share a video on the chat. He's gonna post a chat of the new studio we just leased right around the corner. I think it was like two months ago, maybe. So if anybody wants to watch it,
If he's looking to post in the general, then he should send it to me.
okay, send it to Jeff.
Yeah. Sorry, Shepard, you had a question?
yeah. Sorry. Forgive my voice. I'm a little under the weather, but Daniel, guys, I love what you guys are doing. You know, project is amazing. Can't wait for it. But Daniel, kudos to you, man, for being the community face. You know, you're jolly as fuck, and I feel like this space lacks that enthusiasm. You know, from like project founders or just the core team in general. My question was, you know, with the current state of the market, how do you guys? Well, actually, I have two questions. Sorry. With the current state of the market, you know, how do you guys plan on surviving the bear market? That's one. And I know you guys have like a big focus on community. Is that something that you guys plan to carry on even after the mint?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's actually one of the main reasons why we decided to keep a closed server. It's just very consistent in what our experience, right, is building a business. We started our business off being 5 people, and we've consistently been growing between like a 20 to 30% every year. This is something that I learned from, studying a little bit of corporate history and kind of seeing where the sweet spot is in growth. A lot of times when companies grow too fast, you lose a lot of the core values and vision and culture of a company. So, we've tried to steadily grow slowly. And by growing slowly, we've built very strong bonds between us. I think our churn is under 10% over the last 5 years, which is really low for this industry. Most companies have like a turn in this space, right, of like maybe a 60%, 70%. So I think that speaks to how connected everybody feels together and how tight knit we are as a team. And that was something we just wanted to keep on doing and replicate. So I believe strong teams are the ones that survive hard times. And that's kind of why we came into the space expecting there to be bearish markets. And that's one of the reasons why it took us a year to make the decision, right? Because we were like, what the hell are we going to do if this just, if we hit like a 2-year, 3-year bear market? Like, we believe in the long run, we believe in the technology, we believe that this is going to intrinsically change consumer behavior forever. But what are we going to do for like 3 years maybe, or looking at the history and inside of crypto. So we came into the space expecting there to be very difficult times. And that's why we didn't switch our whole company over to this, right? We have a little bit less than 80% of our company doing services, and then 20% working on this consumer product. as we see success in this space, we're going to bring more of our team over to this space. And if we run into really difficult times in the market, we're probably going to keep on our service business to kind of balance our books and make sure we're in a healthy spot. But we came into the space expecting there to be a very difficult time. So that's why we've built a really strong community, because we believe that that's what ends up surviving these difficult times, and why we haven't just switched our whole company over to kind of this kind of this space, or like creating a consumer product, right? We're keeping one foot,
Yeah.
firmly placed in where we have core expertise and where we've established ourselves in the industry, and another foot into the future, baby.
Yeah, no, I get that, and that's also another thing I admire about your team, because a lot of these projects, they just hire people from Fiverr, or just get like a reference from somebody, but you guys seem like you have a personal background with each other, and that's like, I feel like that's something good for the core team, because you have like I guess set standards for each other.
For sure. And and not even to mention, like, even good times can be difficult, right? Like if you
Oh yeah.
try to build a business when there's a lot of there's basically a lot of money, it's not easy. You can't just go out and just hire the smartest people, put them all together in a room, and all of a sudden you're going to see massive success. Like if you study
No.
corporate history, these teams have always been outperformed by teams that they believed in what they were doing. So they call them missionaries, right? People who deeply believe in the cause or the vision behind what they're doing, and people that worked really well together. These teams always outperformed teams that were just assembled with a lot of capital. You've seen this in the tech space, and throughout all of corporate history. So we're very confident in that model, and then translating that to our community, we think that's going to work too. So even if there's difficult times, the community believes in what's happening because they understand what's happening, and they understand what's happening because you've been able to invest in them, because there's not a lot, right? It's few. People you can spend that personal time, you can build those personal relationships. So then when difficult times comes, it brings people together instead of just dispersing everybody, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's like a deeper understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate
For
that.
sure.
I'll hop down.
So, Adrian? I don't hear you, Adrian. Daniel, if you could tell Juanito, I had a problem with the invite passwords.
Invite
I
passwords. Yeah, he pranks
yeah.
people like that sometimes. I don't know. No.
I
Okay.
sent him a note in chat, but
No, but he needs them for his yeah, for
no,
Jeff.
it's the ones he sent me.
Okay, could you send it to him again, because he's having a problem with the passwords? Yeah. All right, thanks.
All right. Question from the
Yeah,
chat
but
says,
specifically for Jeff. Send it specifically for them.
cool. Question from the chat. Is the game playable on mobile or only on PC?
Yes. So what the way we're setting things up is we're gonna be pixel streaming the game, so you can basically play from basically any computer, laptop. It doesn't have to have a good graphics card. This is gonna do two things. It's gonna limit the amount of time you can play, so it's gonna kind of harken back to the days of um the slot machines, you go out in arcade days, where you save up some money during the week and you can play. So, but this is, on the other hand, what it's going to do is going to allow people with just any old computer to be able to play, as long as you've got a good internet connection. It's not set up for mobile yet, but that's kind of the whole idea. We're really building this stuff, believing in the future of pixel streaming, and that's where gaming and virtual experiences are going. So all this content will be pixel streamed, so you'll be able to just play from your browser, but with like a PS5 quality experience.
That's pretty cool. I think if you can get that on mobile, I think that would be pretty awesome. Adrian, you here? I think he's still having problems. Abe, how about you?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Nat. Thanks, Daniel.
Hey, thank you.
I want to ask you, Daniel, At the time of doing the community building, I've heard you guys have done like a lot of original ideas and then like locking the Discord, doing a Sunday break, and things like that. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think worked the best on your community building strategy, and what didn't work so well, and who came up with these ideas?
Well, obviously, I came up with all the good ideas, and Juanito's responsible for everything that didn't work. Clearly, if we're just being honest. Nah, no. So, actually, Juanito, Jonathan has been responsible for the community. He's our studio manager, so he has a lot of experience actually building teams, and I think that really worked a lot in our favor, even though we had very little experience on Discord. So I can tell you that we were like. I expected the Discord thing to be challenging, but I completely underestimated it. It's like a whole other thing. So it was definitely a learning experience, but one that I'm very happy we had. I'll give you guys a little story. Actually, we were this far away from shutting down the Discord, like this far. Like I was like, we are like literally this close, because it just got to a point where it was just like there was just so much drama and stuff. I was like, what are we doing here? It's like we're building tools and technology. We're gonna change the world, and we're here like, if so and so did some sort of weird thing in a voice chat, I was like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, thankfully the team kind of talked me out of it, and I'm glad we stuck to our guns and we kept the Discord open. An amazing job by the mods, and obviously our internal team, that have just been amazing at keeping the Discord safe from a security standpoint, making sure everyone's getting their roles, and just moderating the community in general. So I have not been super involved with this, so I'm not really the best person. But from the outside, what I think worked really well, or it took us a lot of time, is to handpick people for their whitelist, or the notorious role, which is kind of when we're notifying you, hey, we see you, you're really adding a lot of value to what we're doing, you're kind of a recognizable figure in our community, and handpicking that, vetting that. So basically, when at the beginning there was just like a certain group of people that would just give those roles, and we realized there was a lot of vulnerability there. So we have like a whole vetting process where different people with different interests get to validate these things. So it's a much more balanced view. Once we got that right, everything started running much more smoothly on the server. But it's an incredible investment of time and resources to get that right. So the whitelist process, I think, is something that needs to be reimagined. What else? I think the factions at war worked super good. So we have factions, and basically it gave a way for like the community to really come together and build strong bonds between each other, and then earn their whitelists or roles, and by working together, making like cool things or playing games, or the whole like factions at war turned into a really cool thing. And I think it also connected people to the collection itself, and it's not like just some some NFT that no, it's like I feel like I'm part of the faction. It's got an identity, it's got a personality, it's got a style, it's got a mood. So I think that worked really well. And what else? Well, we also have a team that we brought on that is handling all the games, the matches, the streaming team. So they're doing an incredible job too. I think that worked really well. So things that didn't work.
What was the feedback? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What was the feedback from the community with the Sunday closing? Was it like mostly positive, or did you get mixed feedback from them?
Really positive. Really positive. It was kind of weird because we wanted people to take a break, and what they ended up doing is just going and hanging out on another server, but like shilling Collider or something. But that was actually cool too, because they got to hang out with other communities and kind of spread the word, spread the love. Some people started hosting like a Twitter Spaces to hang out. But yeah, I think it was really positive, and it was also good for our team that you can have like a day to just kind of not worry about stuff. But I think it was really healthy. Yeah.
Last question. What's the story of your nickname, Danielito the Terrible? What's the story behind that?
I was a problem child, believe it or not. Yeah, I was. I had a lot of trouble at school, and a lot of trouble just in general as a child. a lot of my friends have scars that I that I freely dished out at a young age. So yeah, I was a pretty and so there's this character that's called Danielito el Terrible, and I was called Daniel. I'm called Daniel, so they would call me Danielito el Terrible, and that just kind of it's a silly thing that I just remember from my childhood. I still get into trouble every
Awesome,
so
man.
often as a grown adult, but try to keep it to a minimum. I try to be responsible.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right.
I'll get out. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, we have hold on, another question from the chat. What are some of the biggest hurdles to get your plan in place for a successful game launch within the NFT world? And what are the challenges your team sees for the future?
That's interesting. I think the biggest challenge for us, to be honest, was the community side of it, because that's where we have the least amount of experience. So on like another area where we have little experiences on the Solidity development side. So developing for the Ethereum network. But there's incredibly talented teams you can collaborate with, which is what we did. And then the community side, you can't outsource that. Now you have to kind of do it yourself and get your hands dirty and kind of that was probably the most challenging part of this, and I foresee it being a challenging part in the future, because you're interacting with people and people have different needs and everybody's different, and you're I think something that might help is us kind of proving ourselves in the market. I think once we've kind of established ourselves and kind of proven our worth in the market, it's going to be easier. But I foresee there being challenges all around all like from a technology standpoint, like things are just lining up beautifully. With things that are coming down the pipe, it's just going to be amazing what's possible in the next 5 years. The team is super solid. The content we made is just like, from a production standpoint, I'm super confident. I think it just comes down to the community. Like if you can get that right, um, I feel very confident everything else is going to be fine. I don't
Yeah,
know,
I don't
Jeff,
think
if you
there's
agree
any.
with me with that or not. I don't know if you
Yeah, no,
if you
totally.
if you
I
guys
don't
run
think
into
there's
those kind of
any.
things, or it's just us.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like real world experience that really can prepare you for anything like this. It's every day is a new day. It stays fairly dynamic, and every day is a new challenge. I think you just kind of have to roll with it and kind of have a short memory with certain things, and don't let it get to you too much.
Yeah.
But it is extremely challenging to manage X number of people over 190 countries or whatever.
Yeah.
So it is
It
something you can't nothing will prepare you for.
and it's also weird. Like I read this really good thread yesterday on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how like there's this really interesting dynamic where projects have done very well, but then the momentum kind of dies over time because they're well off financially. Things are gone well for them, for the projects that did well, right? So the energy behind the project isn't there anymore, and it kind of goes dying down. And then the expectation from the community in at large is going up, right? What they expect from projects. So you have like this conversion happening of the output going down and the expectation of the input going up, and where this is going to kind of come to a head. And I think you can kind of feel that in the community where people have been where they've been let down, and their expectations of weren't met, or promises weren't met or whatever. So there's this kind of mood in the community at large, right, where expectations are going up, and you kind of have to prove yourself every week, every month. It's not like, okay, we've proven ourselves. So no, like the next week a whole new batch of expectations come along, because people are also reacting to other things that they're seeing in the market. So it's challenging, but it's fun, man. I'm like, I would take this any day over just doing services for like a game for 4 years or whatever. Like this is this is fun stuff, but yeah, it's challenging for sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, you just have to roll with it. Nothing you could do. Adrian, you got your issues fixed? I think he's still working on it. Let's see. Yeah, so I think we're out of questions in the chat. In terms of, I guess, what's the besides Mint, besides the next reveal, I guess what's the next milestone you're looking forward to?
Um, I think it's gonna be really fun for people to see the new collection we're working on. Um, the I think it's really different than what we've done up till now. I think the concept is super fresh. It's really fun. I think it's gonna, build off of a lot of like nostalgia from maybe our childhood and kind of play on some new themes as well. So I'm super excited, and I think people are gonna be like blown away. I don't want to oversell it either, but I'm just showing people the collection that we've been working on, this new horror themed collection. I think I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm really looking forward to that kind of like first round of feedback from people playing the mosh pit and using the visual wallet. Just kind of getting the user's reaction, I think, is going to be huge. And I think as a company, the pivotal moment will be when we have the visual wallet up and running as a marketplace, and where people can just sign up and make an avatar and then jump into an experience. I think that's going to be a game changer once we can figure that out, and people can start like bringing their NFTs into their visual wallet, putting like one of their favorite NFTs onto one of their jackets, and then jumping into a game. Like once that stuff starts happening, all bets are off, man. It's gonna be madness. But
When can we expect some sneak peeks?
um, so the visual wallet, you guys are gonna have access to it. You guys are actually gonna be able to use it around like a week after the mint. So anybody who's minted a cipher is gonna have access to it. It's gonna be at first a more limited version of the visual wallet. And then you guys are going to have access to the new version of it, which has the new MetaHuman rig, and you're going to have a lot more content on there, and you're going to be able to build your avatar and then put it into the game. So you're going to have the full experience of making an avatar, bringing it into the game, playing, and then you're going to be put on a leaderboard. And who's ever at the top of that leaderboard, we need to see if it's like the top 10 or something, they're going to get really cool airdrops. So you're going to be able to do all of that before June 30th, Jeff.
That's awesome.
Fingers
I think,
crossed.
everyone's, yeah, yeah. Giving hard deadlines in this space is sometimes not always a good thing.
Yeah.
Adrian, you can speak up whenever you have your issues fixed. I think he's still working on them. I got a question from the chat. He says you've shown in one of the slides some characters like some Street Fighter, Batman, and Terminator characters. Do you have licenses from these and other similar companies? Do you have licenses from this and other similar companies to use their characters, or what was that slide about otherwise?
Oh, that slide is showing the work that we've done. So those are the games that we've worked on up till now. Those are all the games that we've worked on up till now. Like significantly, right? We worked on a lot of games with those games, especially like Mortal Kombat 11. I think we've worked on maybe like 80% of the characters that you see in that game were made by our team. And as far as licenses go, that's actually one of our big objectives for this next collection, for the horror collection. One of our big objectives is to have a couple of these IPs that we love and cherish from our childhood. Hopefully, get those in there. So it's going to be a big challenge, but if we can pull it off, it will be a big win for the space, I think, and for what we're doing for our future. I think it's a massive opportunity for some of these IPs, right? It's just so easy for them to just come into this space without having to know anything about, communities, Web3, smart contracts. They don't need to do anything. They're just like, here's the IP, build it out for them. It looks better than it ever has, and it's just ready to go. The royalties are built into the smart contract. It's like a no-brainer, I think. So we'll see how successful we are with that, but that is definitely one of the challenges we have ahead and something we're looking forward to.
That's awesome. I think if you can bridge that connection, then the world's your oyster, right?
Yep. And it's perfect. Like this horror theme is it's such a perfect fit. So we'll see what happens. These IP holders are a tough crowd, but But if it make data, it makes sense. So we'll see. If this first
Absolutely.
drop does well, we could be like, hey guys, look at the opportunity. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
You'd be amazed at what a little profit can solve.
Yeah.
Uh, I know you've been asked this question. Probably you've answered it a few times. In terms of the reveal date, they're asking why
For sure.
it's almost like a month after for the
For sure.
reveal.
Yeah, so I think there's two big answers here. The first one is we want to give power to the people. Want to give our community access to what they've worked so hard to get, which is their whitelist, and you can do whatever you want with it after that, right? So instead of like waiting another month for people to get access to the mint, we just wanted to give it to them right away, and they can decide what they want to do. But there was no way to get this collection out before the 30th of June. So like the PFP side of things is like the simplest part of all of this. The most complicated part is getting hundreds of assets to all work together, to not deform in weird ways when the avatars are running, to not clip. So you'll see like main characters in some huge games, like all the assets are like clipping. With what we're trying to do is we're trying to get all of these avatars to work where there is no clipping, right? So there's a huge process. That's a very manual labor of going asset by asset with all the possible combinations, making sure they don't intersect. So there's a huge what's it called, QA process. So that's basically why it's taken us so long to deliver this. And the reason why we're minting on the 20th is we just wanted to give people access to their mint as soon as possible, and they can decide what they want to do with it. And well,
All right,
giving
cool.
people access to the visual wallet and the game is our way of kind of like showing guys like, hey, like screw the avatar, like look at what we're building and what is really here, like the fundamental value of what we're working on. And I think that's really gonna help everyone really understand why these things take so long, and the real potential behind what we're doing, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be well worth the wait. Or is there I guess, there's going to be some people who are going to flip the NFT, and that's just part of the game, right? I think the question becomes like, is there any uh benefit for people who have held since mint?
For sure. If you want, we can Tommy, if you want, we can jump real fast to share screens, so I can go to holder benefits. No, this is, let me see here. All right, here we go. Okay, so there's kind of like two target audiences here. One is benefits for people who have been with us from day one, and then another set of benefits, or another like target audience, would be people who want to come into this project and kind of invest in what we're doing. And those are kind of the two big groups. So one really important thing to understand is that all of these benefits are attached to the avatar. So if you have 3 avatars, if there is a benefit for one avatar, you're going to get 3 of those benefits, like 3 of those airdrops, right? And these are stackable, right? So if you look at some of the benefits you're going to have 6 months from now, for example, if I go over here for the December airdrop, I'm going to have guaranteed access to the new collection, the new horror collection. So I go, hey, I want to have access to this horror collection in 6 months, but what I can do right now, get myself 6 avatars, and I can already get the 6 airdrops happening in July, right? So since these benefits are stackable, you can basically like make an investment for the future, and also start getting like short-term benefits as well. So the way this works is that for example, if there is an airdrop for having 1 avatar, you either have to have 1 avatar, or you have to have been holding an avatar for 1 month for the first airdrop happening in July 15th. For example, in the next airdrop in August 15th, you either have to have been holding an avatar for 2 months, or you have to own 2 avatars. So the way this works is just the amount, either the amount of time you've been holding or the amount of avatars you have, right? So for the third drop, you either have to be holding 3 avatars, or you have to have been holding an avatar for 3 months, right? And then these are the benefits, right? So the first airdrop is going to be headgear. So it can be anything from a legendary helmet to glasses, hats, and all of these are going to have rarity structures. So you might get something that's ultra rare. You might get something that's more just super rare or common. Then the second airdrop is faction weapons. So you're going to have faction themed weapons, which also have a rarity structure in them. and all these are going to be individual NFTs. So you can sell them or you can collect them. You can do whatever you want. They're decoupled from your avatar. Now, when you sign into the visual wallet, once that's up and running, you're going to be able to see all of the assets you hold plus your avatar, right? And then for the third airdrop, we're having like a physical bust of the faction heroes, and you're also going to enter into a raffle of 750 white lists for drop 2. Now, something that's really important that we just announced is anybody holding. We're going to basically take a snapshot of all the wallets in the first 48 hours, and if you are holding the same avatar from the first 48 hours, by drop 2, you're going to have a guaranteed access to drop 2 as well. So this is kind of, we're calling it like the cipher benefit. So it's either people who have been with us from day one, or that will also kind of bolster the price for people who want to flip it. But either way, whoever has been with us from day one and got that cipher, it should be pretty good for them, right? So as you can see, we're doing everything possible to really show the love and reward and support people who've supported us, and we're going to be doing airdrops every month from now until the new collection. So things should be pretty active on our server, and should be pretty fun too.
Hello,
That's a
can you
great.
hear me?
Hey, there he is. He's been trying to ask a question
Lovely.
for like an hour now.
Yeah, I know. I had to restart my phone. I'm on the train. Quick question. Have you considered having your game available on GeForce Now, NVIDIA GeForce Now?
In NVIDIA GeForce?
Yeah, their cloud streaming service.
Yeah, we're not using their cloud stream service, but we're definitely going to be looking into it. I mean, there's a couple good options out there. Right now, we're using Furious because of the all the kind of capabilities that it gives you for the amount of time people are allowed to use it. I mean, it gives you all sorts of kind of programmable capabilities. But yeah, we'll be looking into. I mean, again, NVIDIA is another one of those companies that are killing it. So we'll definitely be looking into it.
Cool. But this is from like a user perspective, like their GeForce Now, which allows anyone with an internet connection to connect to their servers and just play any game that's available on there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so basically everything we're building it for pixel streaming. Now, what platform we end up using for the pixel streaming is something that we still need to figure out. Right now, we're going to be using Furious for this first test, but as we move forward, especially once you're talking about thousands of users, we're really going to have to probably dial in like some sort of partnership with somebody who really believes in what we're doing, because it's extremely expensive, right? You're talking about something like $1 an hour of pixel streaming, 70 cents maybe on the lower end. So if we're going to be doing this at scale, we're definitely going to have to find somebody who really believes in the future of pixel streaming. And exciting stuff is happening, right? Like, for example, I think Fortnite just announced that you're going to be able to do pixel streaming. You're going to be able to pixel stream Fortnite, which is a huge step in that direction. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Adrian, glad you finally got to ask your question. I hope answer is sufficient. I know Daniel's got to go. He's got a big day ahead of him left. Thank you for making the time to come here with us. I hope you get some rest. Get a drink, take a break, and again, looking forward to the mint, man.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you, Jeff, for showing support from day one, dia uno. You're like the OG. Yeah, thank you, man, for all the support, for being so kind and professional, and you're definitely one of those people in the space who definitely gave us a warm welcome, and thank you for the continued support, and yeah, I hope this is just the beginning of a long friendship. So thank you, man, and just a big thanks to your whole community. And I think is there anything else? Or are we wrapping it up? All right, thanks, Chef. Appreciate you guys, man.
Of course, man. Appreciate it.